anyone else has made in the world, right? One of a kind. And so I need you to stay off the walls. You know how there's a tendency to want to kind of lean up, sit down against the wall, lay your stuff up against the wall. If you can please just try to remember to stay away from the walls. We tried to set the tables up in such a way that if you scoot your chair out, you're not going to run into anything. Please try to keep them in that place. We also tried to set them up so you were close to the outlet, so we didn't set up any unreasonable challenges for you, so you could get started. I think if Oliver and John, our two staff people, will be here until 9 o'clock tonight and tomorrow night. If you guys need anything, you can't find Kendra. Also, Noah Johnson, my lovely son. Noah Johnson. Did I tell you what my name is? No, Leslie Brothers. Noah can help out. I know you're going to be busy, but Noah's worked here before. He knows the ropes, so he can pinch hit. If you spill something, if there's an accident, just quickly take care of it. There's paper towel downstairs. Please don't let your soda soak into the concrete. The concrete tends to have a memory of those things like that, unfortunately, so that would be really helpful. Again, there's a bunch of pieces this year that are really vulnerable, like the paper scroll on the wall, nothing covering it. On the Oculus, the spiral staircase, there's a drawing installation, nothing covering those drawings. So if you're going down the stairs and you've got your Dr. Pepper and you trip and it flies on the wall, normally it wouldn't be such a big deal, but now it's covered in somebody's art. So I need you to be really careful. Normally, we don't eat and drink in the gallery spaces, right? You go to the Cleveland Museum, you don't see people walking around eating popcorn, right? It's like that typical rule. But we bend them. We bend them because this event is really important to us. And last year was just flawless. Well, at least from our perspective, it went beautifully. And so I anticipate the same thing will happen this year. Unfortunately, we have a couple leaks, just devastating for me. A couple leaks. So you'll see two kind of white paint buckets sitting there. They're there for a reason. Hopefully nothing more will happen. I don't know if it's stopped outside, but just kind of leave them. And I don't know how it'll be tonight. You know, like if this rain keeps on and there's drips, and I can't imagine like trying to sleep or concentrate around that, so we'll figure something out. Maybe I don't even need to go there, but I'm going there because I'm imagining like sleeping on a concrete floor and then listening to water drip into a plastic bucket. You know. So I'm so glad you're all here. I hope you have a great time. I can't wait for Sunday. It was so fun last year. I was so blown away by the presentations, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them this year. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. We have a sign that marks where the restrooms are downstairs. You guys all know. We know how to get on the wireless, right? We know how to get on the web. There's a coupon, and you know, so you can help people. I think that's it. Try to keep the area clean. There are lots of garbage cans. If they get full, let us know. We'll dump them. And okay. Any questions? Do you guys have any questions? No? All right. So let the fun begin. Thank you. Thanks so much.
All right, so hi everybody and welcome to this year's Game Jam. It's very exciting. We have, I think, 11 more people signed up this year than last year, which is super awesome because that puts us at capacity. So, I mean, does anybody have any questions about what is expected of you for a Game Jam? I know most of you have done it before, but there are a couple of you that were new this year. Any questions? Don't be afraid to speak up. I don't bite. No questions? Okay, so basically,
Have we announced the theme yet?
I'm going to get to that. That's the last thing. All right, so I will announce the theme once the keynote is over, and we have kind of a very special guest. He recorded it for us because he's a very busy man, but I don't know if any of you know who Schell is, but he is the owner of Schell Games. He is also a teacher that teaches game development at Carnegie Mellon, or does? I don't know. But he is a wonderful, wonderful game developer. He worked for Disney in the beginning of his career and created all sorts of really cool stuff for them. And he's going to give us our keynote. And to start that off, I will go ahead and get it started.
Hello, Youngstown Game Jammers. Jeff and Kendra asked if I, Jesse Schell, would be able to join you today to give you some tips about how to do a great game jam. And so here I am. So I'm going to give you 5 big tips today for how to make the most of your April Fool's game jam. All right, so first thing I'm going to advise, number 1, you want to pick something new. Pick something that hasn't been done before. Don't do a bunch of jumping and shooting games. We've seen those a million times. We know that those can be done. Pick something nobody's done before. Make the most of your opportunity for this game jam. A great way to do that is when you do your brainstorming, figuring out what you're going to do, is to do it in quadrants, do it in dimensions. Pick some different categories, brainstorm on them separately, and then mix and match them. Here's an example, 4 quadrants I like to use based on the elemental tetrad right here. So your technologies, maybe you'd pick something like tilt sensors or VR or mouse. And then maybe your art style, you might brainstorm on that a little bit. You might think about black and white or pastels or photography. For your rules, you might start by crossing out jumping and shooting. And when I say rules, I mean verbs, the verbs you're going to be doing in the game. So you might get rid of jumping and shooting, but what about a game about eating or a game about falling? Or who's ever done a game about humming or a game about stealing? Like, come up with interesting verbs. And then story ideas. Everybody's always got story ideas. I don't know, maybe you got a story about 2 boys who turn into 1 frog, or a girl who sells pencils, or how does soup feel when a spoon gets kind of poked into it, or a story about a sad vampire, right? Now, any of these things here could be great games on their own, but when you mix and match, that's when you come up with really interesting stuff. So what if I do a game that involves a tilt sensor, and I decide I'm going to do it in black and white, and it's a story about 2 boys turning into a frog, and the verb is going to be, say, falling, right? So now how do I do this? Like, maybe it's a game about a frog falling down into a well, and that's why everything's only in black and white. And you know, while he's falling, he's trying to slow himself down using his tongue, maybe. Or maybe I'm going to do a VR game that uses lines only, and it's going to be all about a girl selling pencils, and the mechanic is stealing. And like, how would that work exactly? Anyway, when you brainstorm like this with lots of different pieces and parts, it's very fast and you can get things done really quickly. And so, second tip, really important tip, is going to be keep it simple, right? It's really tempting to do something really big, really elaborate. You want to do something great. You want to do something complex. Don't do those things. You only have a couple days. You want to pick one thing and do it really well. It takes bravery. You got to be brave to be simple, but do that. Dare to be simple. Pick some mechanic, pick some style you like, and just go for it and do that. And when someone says, ooh, should we add this? Should we add that? Like, no, don't add those things. Keep it simple. A lot of the best games in the world are really simple. And then related to that, get your game working fast. Get it working as fast as you possibly can. Ideally, you want to be able, if you could have a working prototype Friday night, oh my God, that would be amazing. You would have the whole weekend to make it great. What I'll give you as a limit is if by the time Saturday Night Live comes on, it's 11:30 p.m. on Saturday night, and you still don't have a working prototype, you are in trouble. So you should be thinking about that. How am I going to, by Saturday Night Live coming on, how am I going to have a working prototype happening so I can spend the rest of the time making my game great? So get your game working incredibly fast. Now, when you get your game working incredibly fast, things are going to go wrong, right? You're going to get this thing working and it's not going to be quite what you wanted. It's not quite your vision. It isn't quite what you wanted. And you can fuss about that, but you shouldn't do that. Instead, what you do is step number 4 here, embrace the quirk. There are going to be weird, quirky things that show up in your half-finished, not really working, broken game. Some of them are going to be hilarious. And if you find those quirky things that are just sort of silly and funny and cute and you weave them into your game, if you leave yourself open to it so that that weird crazy thing where the character like goes jumping like off the screen, wait, we got rid of jumping. Anyway, it goes flying off the screen, then and you weave that into your game so that it's one of the best and most hilarious parts in your game, you'll have done something great. So you're slapping this thing together super fast, you're getting it working. When you find something wrong, you're going to take advantage of it. And you're going to want to do that because if you've done all those things, if you have kept it, if you've been creative, kept it simple, put this thing together really fast, and then embrace the parts of it that are kind of cool parts that you didn't intend, then you're going to have something that people are interested in, but it's not going to quite hang together yet, and that's okay because you're going to have some time left. If you built it quickly, you will have time to polish, and this is really important for you. You need to be able to leave time so that you can do some polishing. Sunday is a perfect time for polishing, but if you're spending Sunday just getting your game even working at all, then that's going to be, you'll be a little disappointed. Your game will just barely be coming together. But if you leave time so that you can kind of add some slick little moments, make that first 30 seconds of your game just like really interesting and clever and incredible, then that's going to be a game that's really memorable coming out of the jam. Anyway, have a great time with the Game Jam. Sorry I can't be there, but I know you guys are going to make some awesome stuff. So enjoy yourself. Jesse Schell signing off.
Work it was
gotta turn around and come back into the parking
I
lot.
just forgot to turn the mic back on for you live streamers. The theme is deception.
Yeah.
So see, I did coordination with it being April Fool's Day. Deceive, do not to deceive. That is all I need. And I wished everybody good luck. I don't say anything now. I do apologize for
Well, I have the tag.
forgetting to turn the mic back on.
Do you two know what it is?
You're just kind of like me.
Do you want me to turn the projector off, or you need it for a while?
Yeah, no, I'm actually done with the projector, so.
Okay, and until Sunday, right?
Yeah, I won't need it again until Sunday. Basically, I'm probably just gonna shut down this room.
Okay, I'll shut it down. It's a different key from the other, so. And when Oliver leaves tonight, he's gonna give you the keys. Oh, you've got them already. All right. Trauma.
All right, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, sorry about that mic. I forgot to turn it back on. So I will be streaming, not streaming throughout the 48 hours. If I don't stream again until Sunday, we'll definitely be back on at 3 p.m. so you can see what everybody created this weekend. So I will definitely see you by 3 p.m. on Sunday. Take care.